Jordan didn't tell Ava that morning. He couldn't, not yet. His chest tightened each time he imagined her expression, imagined the shift in her eyes when she realized just how deeply he'd been unraveling. So he texted something neutral instead. Jordan, got home safe. Thanks for checking in. It wasn't technically a lie, but it wasn't the truth either. Ava replied instantly. Anytime. Let me know if you want to hang out later. He didn't respond. Not yet. He needed a few hours to pull himself together, enough to feel like a functioning version of himself rather than the fragile, trembling person who had unraveled in a parked car like the world was ending. Marcus didn't push him. He gave Jordan quiet space, moving around the apartment with the soft, patient energy of someone who understood what recovery mornings felt like. By noon, Jordan finally felt steady enough to head home. Marcus drove behind him the whole way, just in case. He didn't say that, but Jordan knew. Marcus always meant more than he said. When Jordan entered his apartment, something inside him sagged. Not with dread this time, but with a strange mixture of relief and fear. The silence greeted him like a familiar weight. His thoughts tried to swarm again, but he stopped them. He breathed the way Marcus taught him, slow in, slow out. He placed a hand on his sternum and grounded himself in the present. Okay, he could do this. He showered, changed into clean clothes, and then finally picked up his phone. Ava deserved the truth. But first he needed to see her face, see if her eyes changed. If she pitied him, if she recoiled from the reality of his unraveling. He called her. She answered on the first ring. "Hey," she said, voice warm and familiar. "You okay?" Jordan swallowed hard. "Can you come over?" A pause. "Yeah," she said immediately. "Of course. I'll be there in 20. Jordan ended the call and stared at the screen for a long moment, heart pounding. Then he cleaned the couch, straightened pillows, wiped the coffee table, little compulsive gestures to give his shaking hands something to do. When Ava knocked, his stomach twisted. Everything inside him wanted to retreat, hide, pretend he was fine. But he opened the door. Ava stepped in with a small, concerned smile. Hey," he whispered. She scanned his face instantly. Her expression softened. "Rough night?" Jordan exhaled shakily. "Yeah." Ava stepped closer but didn't touch him. She waited for a cue. He'd always loved that about her. She let him dictate the distance, the pace, the rhythm. He nodded slightly. She reached out and pulled him into a gentle hug. Jordan's throat closed as he leaned into her. She held him not tight, not suffocating, but steady, like she was giving him a place to rest. He didn't realize how much he needed that. They sat on the couch together. Ava turned to face him, hands folded in her lap, eyes soft but unflinching. "What happened last night?" Jordan stared at the floor. His pulse thudded in his ears. "I had a panic attack," he whispered. Ava didn't react with shock, just a deep, breathy sadness. "Jordan, it was worse than before. I pulled over somewhere near Willow Creek. I couldn't breathe. I thought I was—" His voice cracked. "I thought something really bad was happening." Ava slid closer, her face full of quiet pain. "You were alone?" He shook his head. "Marcus called." Ava blinked. "Called, as in by chance?" "Yeah, I didn't tell him anything. He just knew something was wrong." Ava exhaled. "He stayed on the phone with you?" "He told me to focus on something. Told me I wasn't dying. Told me to breathe." Jordan rubbed his face. Then he came to get me." Ava closed her eyes briefly, as though absorbing the image of that moment. When she opened them, she nodded, once grateful, not jealous. "I'm glad he did." Jordan studied her expression, searching for judgment. He found none. She wasn't pulling away, she wasn't scared, she wasn't disappointed. She was simply here, and that alone made his chest ache with relief. "Jordan," she said softly, "why didn't you call me?" He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. "I didn't want to scare you." Ava shook her head gently. "You couldn't scare me away if you tried." He looked down, voice barely audible. "I'm afraid of being too much." Ava's eyes softened even more. "Where did you learn that?" Jordan swallowed. His fingers trembled. He hadn't told this story in years. "It started when I was a kid," he whispered. "My mom needed a lot. Emotionally, I had to be the stable one, the calm one, the one who handled things. If I cried, she got overwhelmed. If I was scared, she panicked. So I learned to hide everything." Ava listened, quiet, open, steady. "So now," Jordan continued, "every time I feel anything big, I try to swallow it, smile, move on, pretend I'm fine." "And it works until it doesn't," Ava murmured. Jordan nodded weakly. "Yeah." Ava shifted closer and took one of his hands, holding it gently. "Jordan, you've been in survival mode your entire life. That's not your fault." He clenched his jaw, eyes burning. He hated crying in front of people, but right now the control was slipping. "And you don't have to do that with me," Ava whispered. "Not anymore." Jordan felt his breath tremble. Something inside him wanted to collapse into her words, into her presence. But a different part, the stubborn, self-protective part, pulled back. "Ava," he said quietly, "I don't want you to feel like you're responsible for me." "I'm not," she said immediately. "I'm responsible to you, not for you." "There's a difference." Jordan blinked. "What's the difference?" he asked, voice small. Ava squeezed his hand. "Being responsible for someone means carrying their entire weight. Being responsible to someone means being their being, supportive, but letting them stand on their own feet, too." Jordan swallowed hard. "I don't know how to let people do that." Ava smiled softly. "Then let me teach you. Those words broke something open." Jordan exhaled shakily, tears filling his eyes. Ava leaned forward slightly. "Hey, look at me." He did. Her voice was soft but steady. "I want to be here. Not because you're strong, not because you're always okay, but because you're you." Jordan's breath caught. "You're allowed to fall apart," she whispered. "You're allowed to not be okay. And you're allowed to need people." Jordan's eyes finally overflowed. Ava reached out, gently brushing a tear from his cheek. "There you are," she murmured. "There's the real you. I've been waiting for you to let me see him." Jordan let out a strangled breath, half sob, half relief. Ava moved closer, guiding his head to her shoulder. He didn't resist. He leaned into her, shaking quietly, as tears slid down his face. She held him. She didn't rush him. She didn't ask for explanations or apologies. She let him break. And he did. Not loud, not dramatic. Just quiet, trembling, human. When the shaking finally slowed, Ava stroked his back once, gently. "Jordan?" "Yeah," he whispered. "I'm not going anywhere," she said softly, "but I need you to meet me halfway. I can't help you if you won't let me in." He took a slow breath. This was it. The threshold. A choice. Jordan pulled back, wiped his eyes, and nodded. "I'm trying," he whispered. Ava smiled tender, proud. "I know." He held her gaze, a flicker of trust igniting beneath the exhaustion. "I want to get better." Ava squeezed his hand again. "Then you will." Jordan exhaled, a long, slow release of years of silent weight. He didn't feel cured. He didn't feel fixed. But he felt something new, something fragile, something hopeful. He felt seen. And for the first time in his life, he felt like maybe, just maybe, he didn't have to hide anymore.